Hey everybody, time for a quick update. I'm here with our contributor Payton.
Hey.
We're both here in South Florida, although I'm about to be leaving for unknown lands. Be back in a few days. Definitely pretty interesting start to 2026. We've had some big news stories. Trump seizing the leader of Venezuela, him now being held in New York. This communist socialist dude Maduro. So that's a big story. And then the other big story of the year would be, there have been several. The AI race continues. People who thought this was a bubble. You got BlackRock saying there's no such bubble yet. And you were just playing with one of our local AIs to see how advanced they're getting.
Yes, I was. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think we're going to get to a point where people get catfished all the time. Because on the video side, it's getting really good too. Like it's getting better at thinking about stuff. That's what that system was. But then on the generative AI side, the videos now you can do your own avatar, right? You can like pretend to be
Mm-hmm.
somebody else, avatar style. And that's bad for society, you know? So Maduro, and then the other big story was International Space Station. These are both like crazy stories. That's like something out of a movie, right? They had to rescue these people from the space station.
Yeah, an emergency medical evacuation. And I saw that hasn't happened in over 20 years, I believe.
Huh. And they haven't given details as to what the medical problem was, right?
Not at all, no. Which is interesting because some people do theorize that if it were to be, say, for an example, a heart attack or something, then they would have likely released a statement saying that a cardiovascular event had occurred. But they released nothing like that. There's no information.
That's an excellent point. If it were some sudden onset thing, you would think they would just tell us what it was. So as of right now, silver is almost at $95 an ounce. That's the other big news story that would have surprised somebody in 2020. You know, if you were to go back 6 years and say to whoever, if you're a time traveler, you're about to get hit by a pandemic that lasts for a couple of years, and then free AI launches in late 2022. It launches as a chat service you just chat with. And then after that, silver rips to world historic highs because the economy reorients to these data centers, these AI chips. You had told somebody in 2020 all that. Oh, and Trump gets reelected. It would have seemed unbelievable, this series of events that we got real AI just years after the pandemic started. Now we're on this crazy trajectory. You know, you got Elon Musk talking about how people aren't going to need money in the future. Everything's going to be abundant. Pretty crazy.
It's wild to think about.
Yeah, it is wild. But I would want to direct people over to our YouTube channel, YouTube and TikTok. Check out the video that she and I did just earlier today, demoing one of these local AIs so you can sort of see what we're talking about visually, see how smart these things are getting.
You have to check it out and see what it can do with no internet, guys.
Yeah, that's the key is there's no internet. It's one thing to be amazed when you got your smartphone and you ask GPT a question. It goes out to a cloud 1,000 miles away. And the combined computation of a data center worth of computers, it can solve your problem in milliseconds. Way more impressive when it's a local entity, basically, a local being, just parked on your own computer, no internet needed to keep it quote unquote alive, right? It can sustain a conversation with you, it can analyze stuff. Absolutely wild. But yeah, the next year or two, I see a lot of deep fakes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, all these kind of catfishing scenarios become possible.
Oh, yeah.
But on the upside, superhuman intelligence for free, not connected to the internet, there's got to be some upside to that. There's got to be some positives. And we're seeing that in terms of better investment decisions, at least for us. It nailed silver. It was the AI systems that told us about silver. That wasn't
Yep.
me being some savant. They all said, silver is at least going to double. That's what our systems kept saying to me.
Exactly.
And now it's more than doubled, right? Up something like 190 or 200%. Let's find the exact numbers. Close to, I think, 200% over the last, wow. According to APMEX, which is a big bullion site, they've got silver and gold charts. Over the last 1 year period, silver is up 224.8%. That's crazy. That's way faster than inflation. That's way more than inflation has been running at. That's pure growth because people realize it's the unobtainium of AI. It's the required element for these AI chips. Everybody assumes it's gold. Gold is useful in a lot of stuff. It's actually not the best conductor of electricity, nor is it cost effective. But wow, that's crazy.
It is, and it predicted this way before anybody else was even talking about it.
Yeah, and like I was saying to one of my colleagues yesterday, not financial advice, certainly not advice, but these silver mines, some of these publicly traded silver mines out there where you can read through all their documents and all their disclosures and stuff and really dive into the details of what they own or what they claim to own. These are mines that they were operating profitably when silver was like $25 or $30 an ounce. And now at almost $95 an ounce. It's like if you're McDonald's and suddenly you can sell the same burger for almost 300% more, would you be in a good position as a business if you can sell the same burger for 225.8% more? So they've already got the mines and the infrastructure. They know how to pull it out of the ground, except now they're not making $25 an ounce. They're making up to $95 an ounce. So again, not advice, but that to me is just a side bet, personally a side bet to what we're seeing in AI. Just as railroads and oil required certain inputs, you needed, iron and steel for the railroads. You needed that for the skyscrapers. Here, there are these obvious inputs that are just parallel to AI, and you don't actually have to know anything about technology. You can just know the basics of supply and demand. And there you have it. So any final thoughts before you leave us?
I suggest that everybody just continues to stay updated on the current news and, form your own opinions and use your judgment when you're also reading the news as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good thing to end on. We don't know for certain. We don't know for certain yet the details of that International Space Station thing. Like you're saying, pretty weird. They don't have a definitive answer for us as to why they all had to come back at once, that whole crew. And meanwhile, they're planning a mission to the moon. They're going to do a flyby. I don't think they're actually getting off onto the surface, but flying by and coming back. So wild times. Be sure to follow and subscribe if you don't yet. And again, check out today's video on YouTube and TikTok because we show off this crazy local AI.